Welcome to another edition of ComeonyespursTV. With me today, I've got Folabi, and we are going to be doing a preview of the second half of the season. We've just come back for the World Cup. Everyone, the players have just come for the World Cup, and everyone gagging to go for the new season. And yeah, we're going to preview that. And with me today, like I said, I've got Folabi. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome back. Welcome back. Right, Folabi, how are you? Good day.
Good day, hi, good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon where I am.
Yes, I know.
Um,
I
th-
know. You're in some sort of sunny part of the world, aren't you? Yes.
Actually, it's not Dubai, but it's not so sunny. Today
It's
is
also sunny
overcast.
today. I see. Okay, right. Were
It's
you at the World Cup
overcast.
at all?
No, my brother Jeremy, my brother went. I had a few tickets, but unfortunately, I couldn't go. I had
Right.
some
Okay.
obligations at the same time here. Compliments of the season.
Yes.
Merry
Couple of
Christmas,
season to
everybody.
everyone. Spurs Nation. We're back. Well, we didn't go away really, but yeah, the Premier League is back, and Spurs are back in action on Boxing Day against Brentford. Well, we went to the World Cup, and yeah. I think. I mean, if we just have a quick look back at the World Cup, it's amazing. But before we do all of that, I mean, we just say to look. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. And we got a bit of Nigerian bent here because, of course, I mean, a lot of us who on this channel come from Nigerian background, but it doesn't diminish the fact that it's all Spurs. Anyway, but if you are new here, you might want to sort of subscribe to the channel, and you also want to like it as well, and leave your comments if you want to ask any questions. Of course, leave your questions also in the comments section, and share this with those who you think will benefit from this as well. Right, Folabi, let's get right down to it. Tottenham, second half of the season, sitting fourth on the table. Um, if we just have a quick look back and just very before we go going into all of this, how did we even get here in the first place? I mean, let's look at how the season started for us. I mean, we opened with again Southampton, didn't we? And it was one of those matches when okay, Southampton scored first from one of those what's that guy's name? The Ward Prowse, you know. And people were thinking, here we go again. But we might turn it around and ended up winning 4-1. You know, when with Chelsea had that amazing draw where we were pummeled to a 2-2 draw. You know, but yeah. But then again, the recurring decimal towards the close end of the first part of the season was always the fact that we had to come from behind. I think the last two games we had to come from behind against Bournemouth, we had to come from behind against Marseille, we had to come from behind against Enter Frankfurt, and then finally on the last game before we left was against Leeds, wasn't it? And we ended up winning that one 4-3. You know, with goals from Bentancur, and again coming from behind. Now, um, what is that going to change? That's the
Well, I
question.
certainly hope so. I certainly hope so because you know, coming from behind isn't so easy. And one thing I've said even at the beginning of this season is the change of mentality,
Mm,
of that never giving up spirit.
yeah,
And old Spurs a couple of seasons ago team would never have come up from behind from 90%, 98, 80, 90% of the games we've come from behind from
true.
this season. And, oppositions are now do realize playing a team, even though they're losing, playing against a team that is constantly pounding and coming at you is very different than playing a team that you're winning against that's just laying back and just being on the field and not pressing and playing, which is an old Spurs mentality way of play would have been. But our mentality is obviously changed, and there's a lot of players in that team with the spirit that, look, listen, we're going to play till the very end of the game, to the very last whistle. And I think with that mentality, it has helped us a lot in coming from behind in a lot of the games that we have come back from behind. And not necessarily just because we have better quality or so-called better quality players on the field. That has also helped a lot as well.
They're not average,
You know,
no?
pardon?
They're not average players.
Well, look. I'm not the one that started this
I
average
don't want to
thing.
get you started today. I don't want to get you started today.
I'm not, that's why I said quote unquote so-called better quality players. I did say that quote unquote. You know, I think Chuma will explain better the ones that are average.
Yeah, I think so. Like I was saying, as I opened the program with, I mean, one of the reasons why this season has been the way it is, in a way, is because of the way it's set out. I mean, it's come up in two parts because of the World Cup, and teams have come. I mean, a lot of teams obviously had players at the World Cup, like we did. I think we had about 11 players in total who went out to the World Cup, and we ended up coming back with at least one winner in our camp, with Romero winning with Argentina, and we also had Perisic coming back with a bronze medal with Croatia, and of course our captain Hugo, obviously runners up with France against Argentina. So I mean, by and large, I think a lot of our lads did quite well, and the experience obviously was very very rich for them. But a lot of teams say that. I mean, if you look at the number of teams that had plenty of players at the World Cup, the stats kind of show that Man City players possibly played the highest number of minutes in the World Cup, right? Followed by us, who had okay, again, players with high number of minutes across the World Cup. Now, that can work either of two ways. It can work in our favor, maybe in terms of match fitness, because the match fit, they remain fit for a long time, or it could be that they become jaded. But some others have also said that, look, one of the reasons why that World Cup was so interesting or so energetic and frenetic in many ways was because it was held at the start of the season, as opposed to it coming at the end of the season when a lot of the players are normally jaded and everyone's looking ready for summer. So they've had a long season, and it's coming at the end of a very, very long season, and everyone's looking forward to their holidays. So possibly that sort of explains why we had such an exciting World Cup. I haven't seen a more exciting World Cup in my lifetime. This has possibly been the absolute best in every single respect I could possibly point to. What do you think, Olabi?
Well, from not the first game, because unfortunately Qatar was just not up to it, unfortunately. But from the first game of the Argentina Saudi Arabia game, from that game onwards, there was no game that did not have some form of ex- level of excitement, fireworks. Most of the games were um, you could. I mean, we learned to not to be able to predict anything or any winner after a few games in this last World Cup in Qatar 2022,
Mm-hmm.
which was what made it so exciting because there were so many unforeseen, well, not only performances but results,
Mm-hmm.
but results, and it showed. And I think I do agree with this theory of this World Cup being played in the middle of the season, because a lot of players looked very energetic, looked full of running, never stopped running. A lot of teams were fully prepared against their opponents. I'm talking about the lesser so-called teams that were supposed to lose or be knocked out and not go to the last 16 knockout stages. And a lot of them um, proved the pundits and the so-called experts wrong.
Absolutely.
It was an extremely exciting World Cup, extremely exciting World Cup. And not only was the final one of the most exciting World
Oh
Cup
wow!
ever,
That final
uh,
we talked about it for years to come. I mean, that
but
was
also the third place between
Morocco and
Morocco and Croatia was
yes,
extremely exciting third place. Normally, third place matches are just go through the motion, no
Yes.
fight. In that Croatia third game play for third place was full of fights from
Absolutely.
both teams. Both teams wanted it,
Absolutely.
both teams, and they showed they wanted it. They wanted that third place medal.
It just, I think if you look at, I mean we did an episode on the upcoming players or players sort of stand up players in the World Cup, and a recurring decimal in most of the discussions across a lot of platforms is players like Amrabat, Unahi,
Brilliant, brilliant.
the guy, two guys in the back four for Morocco. What's that, right? Hakimi, you know, and that the guy who got injured, the centre back who got injured. All of those guys kept appearing in most pundits lineup for players of players who stood out in the tournament, and invariably, of course, it's going to lead to transfer speculation. Of course, people, I mean, either living in January or in the summer. And there's the rumors that Tottenham are in line for Amrabat. How far true that is, we don't know, but we will just wait and see. And I know he was linked with us.
Certainly not an average player, that's for sure.
For those of you who don't know the genesis of this joke, we have this standing joke on our platform
They
where
only seen him
someone
play once or twice, and
say
they say
again.
he's average. They've only seen him play once or twice, and they say he's an average player.
Absolutely.
Amrabat was brilliant.
Yes. So I think what has happened is that on our platform we had guys who express opinions about the quality of players, and they say that they want players who can come in and change the team, and sort of game changer type players. And they didn't want what they consider to be average players. And someone like Amrabat at the time was being referred to as an average player. I mean, obviously, of course, led to plenty of argument and all that. But he's proven himself. I mean, at least on the world stage, and it's not. I hope it's not one of these shop window type things where you play a fantastic World Cup and then you end up being doing a Pochesque, like we said, in one of our episodes. So hey, we hope. Yeah, if he comes to us, that'll be fantastic. But clearly, we do need additions in the transfer window, and Conte in his press conference has said that there will be activity in the transfer window in January. What comes in or who comes in, we don't quite know yet, or in what area he didn't specify. But clearly, they'll be going out in the transfer market. And there's this also. I mean, while doing this preview as well, I mean, there are a lot of things we have to sort of think about as well. I mean, there's a bit of uncertainty about Conte's future as in remaining manager beyond the end of the season, and he's indicated in the press conference that he's very happy where he is, and but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean he's going to sign a contract or he's got a new one. But if that is something to go by, that's a positive development, because if he's happy, of course, I mean, that chances that he'll continue the work that he started, and I think he's done a very good job so far. I know some people have a different opinion in terms of his style of play, but I think in terms of the result and outcome that where he's put us in compared to where we were when he came, I think he's done a really good job. What do you think?
Well, let me start with his off the field. And when I say off the field, I mean his demands in the transfer windows. I think he's changed a perception that Spurs come in. Well, obviously, we don't come in at the end of the day like before on the last day of the transfer window and start all this helter skelter rush buying.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. When he's definitely confirmed that we would have activity in this January transfer window, and he has obviously earmarked the players he wants to come in. And I certainly believe behind the scenes there have been a lot of activities already going on with Daniel Levy and everything. Earmarked, and they said that these are the players I want and everything.
Yeah.
And then Levy said, okay, we'll go for these players, we'll go for these players, and we'll go for maybe one or two, or maybe three players for sure.
Yeah.
And then also Conte would have said, look, these are the players I want either to go out on loan or we just sell outrightly. So I think these guys, they would have enjoyed the World Cup. They would have been watching the World Cup, but they would have also been busy behind the scenes. For Conte to make such a profound and committed statement that there will be activities, he's been assured, he knows that there will be activities, and he's just basically not that he's telling us there will be activities. We should expect players coming in, but they won't let us know until they actually finalize the signing and everything. You know. Now on the field, I think the first thing he has done is he's changed the mentality, as I said earlier, the mentality of walking out onto that pitch, onto that field, home or away. That look, you play until the final whistle. You just do not, even if you go 2-0 down, you don't give up. And in the World Cup, I think this has shown as well a great deal that from that final alone, from that Argentina France final, it shows what a goal the difference a goal can make if
Absolutely.
you're losing even 2-0. France were out of that game.
Totally.
France were completely out of that game
Totally.
until that pen.
Yeah.
France weren't doing anything,
Yeah.
but that mentality of continuing to go forward, and that penalty changed. It electrified the entire stadium. It electrified everyone that was watching that game. Where I was watching that game, the whole it was a stadium. You know, it was built. It was even built as a stadium with the tiers of chairs and everything, and even the comforts of the big settees that we had and everything.
Yeah.
Where I was watching it, and the way some people were eating popcorn, some people were eating steaks, some people were eating
Mommy
fries.
J was popcorn.
Uh, popcorn again, yes. But the moment that goal, that Mbappe's second goal went in, the way he took it, and people were not that goal was a shock to everybody. The penalty, okay, it got everybody excited. Now there's a game,
Yeah, there's a
but that
chance,
second
but
goal,
it seemed like a slim chance.
yeah, but that second goal coming so quickly after the penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's plates and everything was flying. People were flying either in anger that France had equalized, or in celebration that France had equalized, or as a neutral that we got a game on our hands now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was just an
Mixed emotions.
electrifying moment and in that game. And so I think that's the mentality Spurs have got, that Conte has built in them. That look, and he will instill it even more after this World Cup. He will instill it even more after this World Cup.
Yeah.
And you know,
I think one of the things people might be worried about, if you want to call it that, is a little bit. I think he might have mentioned it to the board as well in terms of the depth of the squad. Now,
yeah,
at the beginning of the season, like we said, we said that okay, a lot has changed in terms of how we're perceived as a team, right? No one gave us a chance to be in the top four at the beginning of the season, but come now, I think that's without a doubt that we'll be fighting with the top four. To the end. That's the first point. The second point is the way that we've done our business now. We stopped doing this last minute business of buying players on the last day, and obviously trying to get a bargain on the last day. He wants his players in and he gets them in early, which is done. And at the time when we had this at the start of the season, if you looked at it across the squad, people were very pleased with the business that we did in the window, because we had people like Longley come in, we had Bissouma, we had Perisic, we had Richarlison. All these players came in, and I think they've done it. They've made a difference to the strength of the squad, right? And also, even Kulusevski as well, and Kulusevski and of course Bentancur came in January transfer window. But overall, the squad is beginning to look solid, right? However, there's still some areas where we probably need a little bit of strengthening, like the right back or right wing back, which is the system that Conte likes to play. We're not quite nailed that position just yet. There's been plenty of rumblings about the quality of the personnel we've got there at the moment, but hey, it is what it is. So hopefully we'll be able to do some business in this window to strengthen that area. I also think that because of the injury to Richarlison, it obviously again limits his choice in terms of the attacking options because we had quite a lot of injuries during the season. We had Son injured, we had Richarlison injured, and that sort of changed the dynamic. Of course, we also had Kulusevski injured for about 10 of the matches that we played this season so far. But he came on, I mean, of course, I mean, and made a difference when he came on against Liverpool, and Kane scored almost immediately. So that was for me a plus. However, but I think we also need to look at maybe one more centre back and someone up front. You know, Brian Hill is young, upcoming, but I'm not sure that he's really up to it in terms of being able to sort of force his way into that squad to play on a more regular basis. Because anytime he gets the ball, okay, his energetic is bright. He goes into tackle. He's very how am I going to hard working in terms of off the ball. But anytime he gets on the ball, you just don't see that end product that you need to, make you feel confident, and he gets shaking off the ball so easily, in my view, that he kind of lets attack and turnover get going very, very quickly, So which is a bit an area of his game that he needs to work on. But yeah, but overall, I think if we look at the sport as a whole, I think we've done reasonably well so far. However, there's still plenty of work to be done in the transfer window. I mean, and of course, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get some new names in there. We've been linked to so many players. I mean, we don't even know which one they're going to go for in the end, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. What
Well,
in your view? So we've got Brentford on Boxing Day, right? That's our next match, and then after that we have Villa at home, and then
Chris, yeah.
we away to Crystal Palace, and then home to those guys down the road. I think it's going to be a defining month for us, or for a lot of teams in the top four this month. Looking at the run of games so far, let's take one game at a time. We're away to Brentford on Boxing Day, 12:30 kickoff. I don't like to say how 12:30 kickoffs are not particularly great, but I mean that's for me that's talking negatively, And I'm the what I call the eternal optimist. I don't want to sort of believe that the time you kick off a match affects your ability to perform, So I think one of the things Conte has built into that team is that mindset, And I think that mindset is you can see the result and the outcome on the field already. I mean, we've got much more belief than we've ever had in a very, very long time, And I mean, like you said earlier on, uh, Spurs teams don't come back from being behind that frequently, and we've done it over and over and over again. And that it's a matter of mindset, belief, and mentality. And I think Conte has done a great job in that area. Of course, there's still plenty of work to do, but yeah, it's a work in progress, and I think we're making good progress in that respect. For me, I don't know what you think, Falabi. Brentford, it's going to be a very difficult game. They're not easy games in the Premier League anymore. They got Ivan Tony. I don't know if he's playing. Is he playing?
I think he's playing.
Yeah. So, but from our perspective, I think Kane is playing. I mean, more or less everyone is back apart from Romero and Mr. Loris. So those are the two absentees from the World Cup. Everybody else, even though Perisic came back only a few days ago, I mean, he's apparently he's available for the match on Boxing Day. If you're going to hazard a guess about the outcome of this match, what would you say?
Well, first of all, you've got to ask yourself, Harry Kane is available, but what's his mindset?
Okay,
You know, Don Conte said it himself that before he decides, he's going to sit down with Harry Kane and discuss his mindset and his mindset with him because Harry Kane might need a bit more time.
all right.
Um, Perisic, I don't have any doubt about. He'll probably start. You know, and I think Son. I've seen Son in a couple of drills and everything. I think he's ready to go. Um, Lucas, I think Lucas just got married. I'm not sure if he'll be available. Well, even if he's available, he'll probably be on the bench. You know, and I think definitely we need to shore up our right wing back, and I hope we will. For me, is it more important to get yeah? I think we definitely need an attacking central midfielder, and we need a new option up front. I mean, this guy, what's his name? That plays for Fulham. Um,
Milosevic.
yeah, we've got to go for him.
Well, will Fulham
Front.
let him go for a lot of money? And
Of course, they've got no choice. I mean, if the Spurs come for him and we're ready, we've got to go for him. We've just got you. Let me tell you something. You go for that guy. You go for that guy and get that guy. We're guaranteed for top four. We're guaranteed top four. We have then that way we'll have so many different options of playing up front, and we don't have to play Kane every game. We will have such a powerful, and you've got to go for somebody now, especially with Richardson's injury, because we don't know how long that guy will be out for. You know, and we've got just got to go for him. We've just got to go for him. And you get and you if we're lucky enough to get Amrabat as well, that changes the depth of your squad completely.
totally, yeah.
Just two players changes the depth of your squad completely. But the Fulham guy, we've got to go for it. I mean, that guy is phenomenal. Did you watch him playing the World Cup?
I did. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he was immense. He was really, really good for Serbia. You know,
He's an immense. He's even his presence alone. The whether you're playing a back five, you're playing a back three, you're playing a back four, all of them are on their toes because the boy is constantly moving. He's
yes.
constantly
His
moving,
movement is very, very good. He's got very, very good
and he's
movements.
strong, and he's so strong. Now going back to your Hill for me, I don't know what to say because he's got the stature of somebody like David Silva for Man City, you know, but you can't get the ball off David Silva. You just blow, phew, and he's on the floor. You got the ball off him. You know, I mean, this is why I really, really wondered what was the thinking in Conte's head when he let Lo Celso go. Because Lo Celso, that guy is the first name on the Argentinian team sheet. Everything goes through him. So, and he's phenomenal when he plays for Argentina, but just could never do. I think his own was maybe the Spurs formation or something. But Hill is too he's too flaky. He falls over, you get the ball off him too easily. And the problem is with that is everybody is going forward. The function of the team is going forward. And Hill suddenly loses the ball in the third quarter of the pitch or the last quarter of the opponent's half. That means everybody now has to scatter back. Everybody is out of position and everything. And so now people in their mindset is, do we rush forward with Hill on the ball and fully attack, or do we just hold back, believing that Hill might lose the ball?
Mm.
So you're not
It
in
doesn't
a you're
inspire confidence in the rest of the team, does it?
saying it does not, which is exactly what you don't want. You want
Absolutely.
the team going forward. If he's going to be taking the ball forward for the team, you want the entire team going forward, fully forward in their positions,
So you
holding their
don't have the
position.
transition from him losing the ball, and
Thank you.
obviously disadvantaging us. I think you're right. I mean, and which is what I mentioned earlier on as well with about the quality of his play. Sometimes, I mean, it can be exciting when it goes past players, but when he loses the ball, he just creates challenges for the rest of the team. So, which then means that for us, we in terms of strengthening strengthening our squad, we may have to consider letting him go. I mean, I don't know if it's something in Don Conte's mind. You mentioned something about Lo Celso earlier on about how integral he is for Argentina, even though he didn't play this World Cup, and
He
how
was injured.
yeah, he was
He
injured,
was
and
injured.
how he's so integral in that team, but for some reason he just didn't click at Spurs, and
Because if he wasn't injured, he would have been playing. He would have been playing
yes,
for Argentina.
so I mean, again, one thing you have to also sort of have a look at is have a look at Romero when he played for Argentina. He's immense. Not like he doesn't. He's not immense in Tottenham, but it's almost as if he steps up a different level when he plays for Argentina. It's like he becomes almost even more of a beast than he already is.
Well, I watched Romero play for Argentina in the last few games,
Mm.
and yeah, he is a beast, but I think he's also the same beast for Spurs. He's got the same fire, passion in him. Oh, without a doubt, I see it in him in the Spurs team as well, and I see it in him in the Argentinian team. And even with the people I was watching with, even when we see a certain player tackling, we always say, "Ah, that's Romero." And always ready to fight.
Always ready to fight. He's
Always
always
ready,
ready to
always
fight.
ready to fight.
Always ready to fight.
Always ready to fight.
It doesn't give a quarter. He gives
He's
no quarter.
always is the first, even if it's a 50-50, or even if it's a 70-30 ball and he's
Exactly.
right,
He would go for it. He
he'll
doesn't
go
shy
in,
at it
going
at
in,
all.
and he's going in, he's taking the player down with him, and he'll be the first out, and he's ready to fight. The guy,
I love
and
I love Romero. I mean, I wouldn't like him playing against us, but
I
in our
tell you
team,
something. I tell you something. He's a bit of a nasty player to be, if you're going to be truthful with
of
yourself.
course, he's.
Bit
I
of
mean, he's
you
prone,
know.
he's prone to the. I'm surprised he hasn't been sent off at all in Tottenham.
I'm
I'm surprised.
surprised even in the World Cup he didn't get yellow cards
You
and
know.
sent off. I'm surprised because I tell you some of the tackles he made,
Yeah.
some of those tackles,
Yeah.
and he's ready to fight.
So I love Romero. I mean, I really do. So that's a bit of a plus for defense. But a lot of people are saying about Dyer and saying that okay, it's probably not ideal. It's not what he won't get into most of the top teams. And because of that, we should let him go or relegate him to a squad player and find somebody else who would take his place. I like that though. I mean, I don't know what people think about that, but hey,
There's no problem. There's no problem in relegating him to a squad player. But who are you going to put instead of him?
this is it. So
You have
of
to have
course
somebody to put instead of him.
yeah,
To put somebody to relegate somebody to a squad player, you have to have somebody that's ready to step up to be a first team player.
absolutely. And we
So who
don't
do
have
you
that
have
at the
to be a
moment, do
central
we?
defender to replace Dyer?
There are rumors that we were going to be going for Guardiola last season, but I think that those will have disappeared now, given how much valuation he will be placed on him um, this season. Now, a lot of speculation about Conte's position, as to whether or not he was staying, and basically saying that it will be based on assurances from the board as to how much he will have to spend and what sort of players he'd like to be able to bring in, and you know, so you have all that going on in the background, right? Now, at the same time, you have Spurs finances. I was watching a documentary the other day about how much debt we're in. We've got the highest amount of debt in the whole Premier League. I think about 850 million pounds, right? And our debt servicing works out about 20 million pounds a year, just in servicing debts interest alone. Now, obviously, because we've got quite a bit of revenue streams coming in from different sources, running merchandising, match day revenue. You got concerts and all those things holding at the stadium. But we still don't have naming rights on the stadium just yet. That's a potential source of revenue, but that's still further up the field or down the line. That, I feel, in a way, sort of hamstrings our abilities in the transfer market because we have to be mindful of the fact that okay, we have all this desire, ambition to play at the very top, and but at the same time, we don't have the same we don't have the same level of clout as the teams that we're competing against. A lot of them have, I mean, sugar daddy owners who will just put up the money and they won't even think twice about it. So, we need a player for 100 million. Take 200 million, go and buy. But we don't have that sort of financial freedom to do that same sort of thing. I mean, indications were that okay, last transfer window, we spent a bit of money on the players that we got in. But if you look at the nature of the business, I think the highest amount of money we spent was 60 million against for Richarlison, and that for me was largely because of Everton's position in the league at the time that they had to sell him, and they had new owners who also had to balance their books as well. So it put us at an advantage, But today, Richarlison is probably wouldn't go for less than 1900 million because of what he's done at the World Cup, and so for me, it's those sort of players that are high value are still out of our reach for the moment. How long that will continue for, I don't know. But I think that might affect our ability to attract what I call the top players, if you like. I mean, okay, fine, they're good players, but I mean, we wouldn't have been able to go for someone like Haaland. No way. Guardiola is out there. We can't go for him. But Liverpool would they won't even think about it, right? There's this young man. What's his name? Bellingham. They're quoting figures like 100 million for him now. I mean, we wouldn't even go near those sort of players. But Man U wouldn't even think about it. Now that's the challenge that we or Lever as an owner has to overcome. Or try to create that sort of balance that ensures that we're able to perform or compete at the highest level. Not necessarily because of the amount of money that's involved, but just to say, look, if we want a player, we don't want to be what's that thing called, hamstrung because it's priced out of our range. What's your view?
Well, first of all, I don't. I'm not too worried about the debt portfolio. That one is from the stadium, and stadium rights when they finish. If they finish with Google or whoever else they're in talks with, whoever they finish with, will bring in a stream of revenue. And also, don't forget the debt servicing is just been renegotiated with an American bank, and I think we know it'll be a lot less than the 20 million. But I'm not too worried about that. Highest debt is from the stadium and everything. The biggest problem we have is it's not purchasing power. Our purchasing power naturally is not as strong as the Liverpool's, the United, the City, or even the Newcastles now, with their Arab money, Arab owners, and everything. Even though you can discount Liverpool there, even Arsenal go for £100 million players and everything. The biggest problem we have with not being going for somebody like Haaland and everything is not because of the price tag on him. It's because of the salaries.
Yep.
It's not the price tag on the players. It's the salaries. It's our structure. And even if we did not have this depth over our heads and everything, we still wouldn't go for some of these players simply because of the salaries and bonuses and add-ons that they're demanding and they want. That's what's always made us shy from going after some of these players. But we're beginning to open up our salary wages cap, and it's slowly but surely. It's not overnight because of fair play, and also, the Levy is a very extremely shrewd businessman. From the time that he took over to now and everything, he's built a club.
Okay.
Building a club does not come overnight. When Levy came and everything, we were a selling club. We sold all our best players. So anytime anybody came, we negotiated, but our best players will just sell them. Now we can tell them to go to places that we're not solid. We are holding on. This happened last season with Harry Kane. Many people didn't like it. And I even told Guardiola this about a month ago when I saw him, that I support the Harry Kane team. The Harry Kane team that beat you in Champions League and beat you twice last season. He didn't like that too much, but still. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Nope, I can't hear you. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me
can
now?
hear you. I
Yeah,
can hear
no,
you now.
there's a bit of noise in the background. I was trying to sort of see what the noise was about, but it's gone off now. Right, carry on.
Okay. So we're not a selling club anymore. Conte, from the last I heard and everything, he said that before he makes his decision or there are negotiations with him extending his contract. That I know. But he also said he wanted to sit down with Harry Kane and one or two other players about their own contracts. I think he wants to sit down with Harry Kane about extending Harry Kane's contract, how Harry Kane feels about extending his own contract with Spurs and everything. I don't think that would be too much of an issue. I think Harry Kane at the end of the day will come round. If he doesn't come round to renew his contract and everything, then we know we're going to sell him in the summer. So as long as Conte knows this and everything and his mind is set, and even if we're going to sell Harry Kane in the summer, let him know that he's got this amount of money for replacements and recruitments. And I think that's just a natural thing. So I'm not too worried. I think January for me is more of a dicey recruitment state process. Who do we get? Who can we get? I think that's more critical for me than summer. Summer, they still got time to plan and everything. January we're here. Let's see who they bring in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, looking forward to the rest of the season and where we are now. We're fourth now, and we're looking at towards the season end. I mean, predictions. What do you think?
Well, I've said it. I said it earlier. We definitely need a striker.
Okay.
We definitely need a striker that's going to keep defenders on their toes and give them sleepless nights the night before we play them. They won't be able to sleep well. No, we did. It makes a big difference. I always say this. It makes a big difference. When you're playing a team that I can sleep well. Don't worry, I'll just show up and I'll do the job. But when you know that you're going to play a striker that's going to give you headaches, you'll be tossing and turning. You won't sleep so well.
Absolutely.
You won't, and that will make a big difference in your performance. It truly will. I would like us very much to sort out our right wing back position. I think we're pretty safe with Perisic. I think Perisic joined this World Cup will come back with a lot more conviction, a lot more confidence. He played with his old swagger enjoying the World Cup, especially towards the latter stages. He was getting a lot of confidence back, and he was in definitely threatening positions for the opponents, and for Croatia throughout them, especially in the latter part of the World Cup. I'm looking forward to that. Dyer for me is a strange one. I think he's lacking a lot. He's lacking confidence, and a lot of that confidence is coming from. Is he starting? Is he playing? He needs the assurance of whoever his manager is, whether it was Southgate at the World Cup or whether it's Conte at club level, to say, look, listen, you're my man. Go and do the job. Don't worry about making mistakes. You're my man. You're my man in central defense. You're my man. I want you to lead that central defense, and I want you to be the rock and the shield of that defense. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, and I think our left hand side is more secured than our right hand side of defense. And Davis is good. I think Davis has improved a lot, immensely under Conte. I think he's improved immensely under Conte. And I would like to see Basuma play a bit more. And I would like Basuma. Basuma is another one with lacking in confidence. You you've got the freedom, take the ball up front, go and do the job we know you can do. Just go out there, my young man, and go and do the job. Just a word in the air and to just tell the player, look, listen, you go and do it. I'm trusting you, I'm believing in you, Go and do it. You will make the mistakes. You will lose the ball. Don't worry. When you lose the ball, go back, fight, get the ball, go forward. I mean, I'll tell you a perfect player that is fantastic that does this, and that's been given the freedom and the ear in his ear, the word in his ear to do this and everything is Griezmann for France.
Yeah.
The Sham had a word with him and said, "Look, listen, take the ball forward. You'll lose it, but run back and get it." Griezmann's work rate is so underrated. It's so underrated.
Yeah,
But he's a
I would,
phenomenal worker.
I am probably one of the guilty ones who never really rated him. I mean, before this World Cup, this World Cup just showed him up as an absolute revelation for me, from my perspective. And I'll see what they see in him in his work rate and ability to sort of read games and do just be in the right position at the right time and just keeping things simple, and keeping things ticking.
That's it. Keep it simple. Yeah. Just keeping it simple. Griezmann doesn't try to beat players after players. If he beats one player, he passes the ball. His crossing is immense. I mean, he whips in that ball. He loses the ball. Even if he doesn't lose the ball, once France loses the ball, Griezmann is running back. Yeah. He's running back on that right hand side and everything, and he's chasing and chasing and chasing. You know,
there's also rumors linking us with Rabiot as well. I mean, Rabiot wasn't too bad as well during the World Cup, so yeah.
Rabiot was very good when he came on. I mean, he was a force when he came on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. When he came on, in before the second half had started. He was phenomenal. He had a great final.
We had injuries to Bentancur, and he probably won't be available as well because of suspension as well. So that obviously means that Richarlison would not have been available because of suspension, but Bentancur obviously is injured. So according to reports, he'll be available for visits from Villa when we play Villa at home. However,
that's just one game. That's just one game.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think overall, what I wanted from you really was give us your prediction on where we will end up at the end of the season, Folabi.
I've told you, it depends on what. No, seriously, it depends on what we get in the January transfer window.
Right.
It just depends on what we get in the January transfer window. That's
where we are now. I mean, even if we didn't get anything from where we are now, where do you think we'll be at the end of the season?
Oh man, you've got Richarlison injured. As I always say, winter. I don't like winter because injuries. One of those hard tackles can just knock you out for 2, 3, 4 games, 1 month. I like predicting beginning of the season. Winter, I really don't like winter because of knocks, because of bruises, even from experience of playing sports in winter, general injuries become more. But I would still think top four. With those people down the road leading the pack right now, you've got those people down the road leading the pack. You've got City, you've got Liverpool, you've got Spurs. I still think we can do top four. You see, the thing is, I still think we can do top four. And who will lose out of the top four this season? It could be Chelsea. But United are gelling. It depends, who's coming back with what injury in this January? Who's coming back with what injury? I don't think Arsenal have any injuries. Yes, they do. They have Jesus.
Yeah.
They have Jesus out, who has the same kind of injury as Richarlison. So they have this. That will hamper their movement a lot because Jesus has a lot of movement.
Yeah.
They have Jesus out. I don't think Liverpool have any injuries. Yes, they do. Liverpool have injury. They have injury because they were even here in Dubai and they said
Daz is still injured, still out injured.
Yeah, and they didn't come back as the way they thought. And I think I don't see Chelsea. They've got problems. Chelsea have got problems. So I think we'll get. I still think top four would be tough, but I think we'll get top four.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think we will get top four as well. That's my own assessment of where we are now. I mean, I think if things go our way, we might even do better than that. So and get close to second or third. But winning, I think we're still a little bit short of that. Given the way we are, but you can't rule that out completely. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
It won't be
yeah.
easy.
So again.
Won't be easy. Won't be easy. It's going
No,
to be a lot of work.
definitely not. But I mean, I'm pleased that we're competitive, right? That
Yeah.
we're there or thereabouts. That we can't completely overlook us. The other thing also we also need to think about also is the what's the word is winning something this season. The FA Cup, Champions League, or the league. The league for me it might be a bit too far, but other things I don't know. I mean, FA Cup, Champions League, we're in with a chance. What do you reckon?
As long as you're still there, as long as you're still in the draw, you've got a chance. This World Cup has proved it. This World Cup has proved it. As long as you're in the draw, you've got a chance. You've got a chance. You just got to keep yourself in the draw. As long as you're in the draw, you keep yourself in the draw.
That's it. That's it.
You've got a chance. You've got a chance. I mean, but I mean, you've got FA Cup third round coming up. These banana peels, you've just got to overcome them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You've just got to overcome them. And I think we're overcoming more and more of them these days than we used to in the past.
Yeah. All right. So subject to us having a good transfer window, being able to overcome banana skins and things falling our way, it looks like things will definitely improve the second part of the season. I think we're going to definitely improve from what we did the latter part of the season. Sorry, the latter part of the first part of the season, and we'll improve this half of the season as we go forward. And we're very much looking forward to that. I mean, starting with the Brentford game, kickoff midday. Sorry, 12:30 actually on Boxing Day. So we kind of open the league for everyone, and I'm very, very optimistic about the chances going forward. And yeah, I mean, I am pretty much looking forward to how things turn out. And yeah, we'll have a post match banter afterwards. I mean, Folabi, hope you able to join us on that one. And yeah, we'll look back at the match and see how things went. And yeah, look forward to the rest of the season as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Folabi. It's absolutely fantastic having you as always. We're appreciative of your contribution and support. Can't even thank you enough.
You're a great man. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. It's a great initiative.
Thank you.
And I think not only the forum, many people who join and watch you and everything, are great and appreciate it. I certainly do. And I think it was a great initiative of yours, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. So,
thank you so much.
Any support I can give,
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've got my full support, and I'm always available to the best I can be.
Thank you. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Good luck on Monday. And even though I don't like, anyway, I won't say it. But let's just get 3 points. I don't care how they come. Let's get 3 points.
Absolutely.
As they say, stay in the game and get your 3 points. Play even if you have an ugly game, get your 3 points. That's the most important.
Win ugly, just win. Just win.
Just win. Just win.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That's all.
Bless you. Take care.
It's a pleasure. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great one.